from time-worn pages, we learn that mankind never loses any good thing, physical, intellectual, or moral, until it finds a better. And then the loss is a gain. Thus we bring to you a profile of progress from the great planning halls on Tennessee's Capitol Hill. Through these doorways have passed the tall men of Tennessee, the dedicated leaders who've walked down the corridors firm in their belief that no steps backward is the only accepted rule of human history. Here in this office and behind this desk, you have seen the busy beginnings for more than 12 years of growth as originally outlined in a 10-point program of progress for the state of Tennessee. Encircled by this great seal which embraces each and every one of us, we have the full and knowledgeable understanding that Tennessee's progress is so much more than a word. Progress is schools for our children, modern medical facilities for our aged. Progress is civic centers and church steeples. Progress is buildings going up, aspirations going up too. Progress, as Tennessee defines it, is people, all kinds of people, moving toward tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow. A profile of progress for the people of Tennessee. First, for the young people, our most vital and expensive governmental task, education. From these busy beginnings over 12 years ago, the state of Tennessee has made tremendous progress in the long push toward a broader, richer curricula with which to equip our young people for the more demanding technical age ahead. Since 1952, over 8,000 modern classrooms such as this have been built to house our school children at a cost to the state of over $90 million in capital outlay funds. These funds have provided our school children with adequate warmth and proper lighting, with reference books and classroom aids. And most important of all, a fully qualified teacher for every classroom in the state. Today, more than 83% of our teachers hold bachelor's or higher degrees. In 1952, only 61% of our teachers were in this group. An improved quality that reflects higher standards and justifies higher salaries. In 1952, the average teacher's salary was only $2,450 a year. In 1966, with an additional $500 pay increase, Tennessee teachers will average over $5,000 per year, or twice as much as they earned 14 years ago. Our tax-supported educational program now covers 2,386 elementary and high schools, 7 colleges and universities. In addition, we have launched the greatest school construction program Tennessee has ever had, with expansion of facilities at every level. Included in this vast expansion is a system of area vocational schools for the training of young people and the retraining of adults whose jobs have become obsolete. 20 of these schools are now in operation, under construction, or in the planning stage. Also, a new technical institute in Chattanooga. Educational progress, all made possible with money provided by our last 2 legislatures. Academic improvements also have been made at our 4 special schools for Tennessee's blind, deaf, the State Preparatory School, and at the Alvin C. York Institute. Total enrollment today numbers more than 900,000 students in our elementary and secondary schools, with a total annual cost from state, local, and federal funds of nearly $300 million in 1966-67, a price that must be paid for this profile of progress. nearly half of the state's total revenue collections go for the support of education. Over the past 12 to 14 years, look at the difference. In 1953, we were spending approximately $68 million for education. In 1966, we'll spend a total of $236 million. A total increase of 247% for the educational program of Tennessee. Through this program, our children have been supplied free textbooks. And from the last two legislatures, we gained our educational loan program to help worthy students attain higher education. The last two legislatures also gave us a statewide education TV network for all students. Special programs have been set up for our mentally retarded children, with pilot projects for their vocational rehabilitation. The state teachers' retirement system was put on a sound basis in 1955. And in 1957, Social Security was extended to include teachers. At the present time, only 11 state governments bear as large a proportion of the total cost of the financing of public education as does the state of Tennessee. And in the field of higher education, Tennessee's vast appropriations have increased over 425%, extending the facilities of the University of Tennessee. And at the same time, we have expanded programs at 6 other colleges and universities. Throughout the past 12 to 14 years, the state of Tennessee has provided a total of $136 million to broaden facilities at the higher educational level where increasing enrollments have necessitated additional state support. Progress, as Tennessee defines it, is people. Young people moving toward the challenge of tomorrow with the best education we can give them today. But even before the educated mind must come the strong, healthy body. And from the newborn child to the senior citizen, Tennessee's Department of Health reaches into every community, carrying out programs of immunization, stream pollution control, sanitation inspection, and the research, treatment, and care of practically every known disease. Over $15 million is spent annually in Tennessee providing better health for its citizens. The state's public health program includes over $4 million each year for the operation of our tuberculosis hospitals. Over 800 beds are available in these 4 modern, well-staffed hospitals where victims of tuberculosis receive the finest treatment known to medical science. Greatly expanded services for crippled children have been provided by our State Department of Public Health, along with modernized speech and hearing centers. Here a child reaches out for sound, the loving art of lip reading. As the child feels the sound, is presented with object, reaches again for the sound of object, identifies it, a look of happiness that indicates understanding, a program of loving care, time, and patience. Other programs include home nursing care through local health departments and providing funds to help strengthen our hospitalization program. During this biennium, over $6,700,000 is going into this program. The state has also established a commission on aging, serving in an advisory capacity on the needs of our aged citizens, whereby recommended programs may be offered for their benefit. The year 1953 marked a dramatic and pioneering step by the state of Tennessee in the establishment of its separate Department of Mental Health. A new concept, an all-encompassing program of care with emphasis on cure for our mentally ill. No longer a life for the lonely. Instead of simply custodial care, mental patients receive new drugs and modern treatment. Instead of $2.5 million appropriated for mental health 12 years ago, the state of Tennessee built a fantastic and far-reaching program calling for an annual budget of over $20 million. An increase of 757%. A hospital construction program costing over $49 million has enabled us to build 3 new hospitals for treatment of the mentally ill. Moccasin Bend Psychiatric Hospital in Chattanooga. The Tennessee Psychiatric Hospital and Institute in Memphis. Green Valley Hospital and School in Greenville, Tennessee. The purpose of the new psychiatric hospitals is to provide intensive treatment for each patient so that a maximum number may be returned to their communities and their families within a few months. Each year, an average of 5,000 such patients are returning to a normal way of life. This is about 4 times the number of people that were being released back in 1952. In addition to new hospitals, the state of Tennessee has expanded its treatment facilities at Western, Central, and Eastern state hospitals, adding more thoroughly trained psychiatrists, clinical psychologists, and psychiatric social workers. Here at Nashville's Clover Bottom Hospital and School for the Mentally Retarded, we have constructed a special 200-bed unit for the non-ambulatory patients. And here, as in other hospitals, new surgical units are under construction. Personnel for staffing our entire program of mental health has tripled over the past 12 years, with the average work week reduced from 60 to 40 hours, reflecting a dramatic profile of progress in the mental health program of Tennessee. Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free. This was a key concept when progress was first defined as people more than 12 years ago. Streamlining our state welfare department called for an immediate establishment of an internal audit system which would ensure the eligibility of welfare recipients. Almost 80,000 of our needy citizens are now receiving aid through public assistance programs. However, this has been a steadily declining figure, even though welfare services have been extended. Since 1954, for instance, there has been a decline of some 16,000 welfare cases due to the extension of Social Security and the establishment of our county advisory committees. Our daycare centers for mothers who want to earn their way, and literacy training projects soon to be available in all counties of our state. Preserving the human dignity of man has been a profile of progress as we think in terms of welfare. Wherever we can, we match this man's muscle with a strength of steel that starts the hum of industry. Since 1953, industrial development has become the symbol of Tennessee's economic progress. Many faceted problems are being solved with greater job opportunities for all families living in Tennessee. Through the efforts of the Industrial Development Division, created in 1953 as part of our 10-point program for progress, a total of 780 manufacturing plants were located in our state in less than 5 years. Over 70,000 new jobs were created during that same period for some of Tennessee's brightest, best-trained young people who might have otherwise sought job opportunities elsewhere. In 1963, Tennessee saw its greatest industrial development, creating more than 28,000 jobs. For the first time in Tennessee's history, its total non-agricultural employment passed the 1 million mark. Through constant and aggressive efforts of our State Industrial Development Division, we have launched a tremendous program of industrial recruitment, which gave birth to the famous 10 men from Tennessee. A team of men who have personally visited such cities as Chicago, Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, Cleveland, and Detroit, extolling the virtues of Tennessee as an ideal industrial location. Their calling cards were well received, as evidenced by the 130 new plants that located in Tennessee in 1964 alone, representing an investment of over $66 million in our state. Through activities of the State Division, over 150 Tennessee communities have been prompted to form industrial development committees of their own in an effort to obtain plants for their areas. An all-out plan of direct advertising and merchandising was launched to sell Tennessee's industrial attractions, and there has been much to sell. Tennessee's tall timber, both hard and soft woods growing thick and abundant over almost half of our state. All the principal industrial fuels, coal, natural gas, and fuel oil. Our unlimited water supplies fed by 3 major rivers, plus our vast network of TVA power dams that put Tennessee's electric rates as much as 45% below the national average. Scores of manufacturers found other attributes. Tennessee's strategic location for shipping and transportation was a most important factor for Eastman Kodak when they opened this new division at Kingsport. Ford Motor Company looked favorably on our labor supply back in 1957 when they selected Nashville as the building site for the largest glass plant of its kind in the world. Today, Ford employs 2,600 workers with an annual payroll of over $17 million. A $1 million expansion program is now underway at this new Ford plant. Such names as Alcoa and Aladdin, Gates and General Electric, Murray and Monsanto, an alphabetical array of nationally known firms who poured millions of dollars into our economy. The State Industrial Development Division is now credited with having brought over 1,500 new industries into Tennessee, together with 2,380 major expansion programs by existing industry, thus creating an additional 226,656 new jobs. An industrial boom that has substantially broadened our tax base, which in turn helps to accelerate every program in our state, including education, public and mental health. Industrial expansion that now includes special industrial research and nuclear energy development. A profile of progress in Tennessee's industry. Through the Department of Agriculture, our Tennessee farmers learn how to make their lands more productive with the latest farming news compiled in the Tennessee Market Bulletin, mailed out by the department each month to more than 63,000 farm families. Testing for animal disease is another service of the Department of Agriculture. This vital service has proven even more profitable with the establishment of Tennessee's own diagnostic laboratory in Brentwood. The department's effective campaign against brucellosis has in itself saved dairy farmers untold thousands of dollars. Our State Department of Agriculture serves the public who buys as well as the farmer who produces. Protection of the public from adulterated foods and drugs is another important function of the Department of Agriculture. Man's love of his land and the need for preserving its scenic wonders gives us a natural entree into our State Conservation Department, guardian of our natural beauties and recreational facilities. Picnic and camping grounds, fishing and swimming waters. Industries looking to Tennessee are keenly concerned that their employees have access to good parks, recreation, and vacation centers. We are steadily moving ahead in all areas. Our state parks now number 21, with every Tennessee citizen living within 50 miles of a beautiful, well-kept state park. Since 1952, the number of visitors to our state parks has more than doubled, now numbering approximately 5.5 million each year, with tourists bringing millions of dollars into the state. And here we make way for another great profile of progress for Tennessee's Highway Department. Over 300 miles of modern interstate highways, a part of the largest peacetime public works project in the history of the world, now open to traffic. With a total of 334 miles completed in 1965, Tennessee's interstate highway program ranks third among all the states in the amount of interstate highway work in progress. By the end of 1966, keeping well ahead of schedule, Tennessee will have completed 610 of its total 1,047-mile interstate highway system. This system is to be completed by 1972 at a total cost of over $1 billion. By planning ahead, our state highway department has gained full advantage of the Federal Interstate Highway Act, passed in 1956, which provides that the federal government assume 90% of our total interstate highway cost, while we pay only 10%. About $50 million of work is now under contract on expressways which will serve Nashville, Knoxville, Chattanooga, and Memphis. Tennessee's main arterial highways are undergoing vast improvements, with modern primary road connections leading into every city of Tennessee. Our rural road system is being updated at the same dramatic pace. In 1964, our state appropriated a $42 million improvement program for our primary, secondary, and rural road systems, and started a $100 million 5-year Appalachian Road program, plus an interstate connector road program costing $12 million per year. Checking traffic by helicopter is an effective way in which our safety department guards the lives of our traveling citizens. Also, through lectures, films, radio, and television, our safety program broadens into all areas of family living, cautioning citizens to exercise measures of safety on our highways, at home, at work, or wherever they happen to be. And here, keeping constant watch over all, is our Tennessee Military Department, the Tennessee Army National Guard, and the Tennessee Air National Guard. Over the past 12 years, both have reached new peaks of combat readiness. With over 13,000 well-equipped citizen soldiers ready to serve through some 72 National Guard installations across the state. An all-encompassing civil defense program that will soon expand into a complete emergency program for the protection against nuclear warfare. This program includes a new $234,000 Emergency Control Communications Center completed in 1964 west of Nashville. Here we view one of the marvelous wonders of our state that has created an unmatched profile of progress. TVA has and will continue to contribute generously to our state's economy. Our cooperative programs with TVA are continually developing the rich natural resources our state has to offer. Tennessee, a $750 million business that calls for a sound program of financing, much of which takes place here through long, tedious hours on Capitol Hill. Our present administration has firmly believed in a pay-as-you-go policy of financing that has kept our state on a sound and practical economy. We have kept a well-balanced budget, a goal not always attained by our sister states nor by our federal government. Over the past 10 years, Tennessee has enjoyed a AA bond rating, which means our schools and hospitals can be financed at a lower rate, saving literally millions of dollars for Tennessee. It has been our policy whenever possible to match all available federal funds, with the result that our state funds have doubled many times their value in such fields as highway construction, public health, welfare, local planning, and conservation. Due to the sound financial condition of Tennessee, we enjoy an unusually low per capita tax burden. In 1964, the per capita tax rate in Tennessee was $107.49, which was the fourth lowest tax rate in the southeastern states. It is also significant that our per capita state debt of $43.99 is the lowest in the southeast. From behind this desk, our 10-point program of progress was first implemented. Today, all of this program is in the operational stage. Here and at this moment, we repeat the question: will we stand still on our success, or will we move forward? Progress implies advancement toward goals yet to be achieved. The tremendous strides made over the past 12 years are only a beginning. Many problems still face us. Much is left to be done. The future of our state indeed presents a challenge. Our population projection for 1975 is approximately 4,400,000 citizens, creating a need for more and better school facilities at the elementary, high school, and college level. Over the next few years, an estimated 1/3 enrollment increase is foreseen for our universities and colleges. A new age of automation cries out for more vocation and technical schools, a challenge ahead for education. And for mental health facilities, we currently have available or planned 3,000 beds for our mentally retarded. We need twice that number. As our population expands, so must the services of our public health department, particularly in areas of care for our aged. The industrial development program must forge ahead, providing the economic climate in which all of our progress thrives. As pressures of urban living increase, so will our needs for expanded recreational facilities, marked by greater cooperative efforts between our state and federal government. Maintaining its progressive schedule of development is the challenging assignment ahead of our state highway department, along with the further improvement of our urban and rural road systems. The state must also continue to provide all existing services for Tennessee's biggest industry, agriculture. In every department, in every area of service, challenges both known and unknown lie ahead. Yes, Tennessee progress must remain more than a word. As first defined over 12 years ago, progress is people. All kinds of people, moving toward tomorrow. Progress is bold, forward-moving action. Buildings going up, aspirations rising too. A profile of progress for the people of Tennessee. As reported to you by Governor Frank G. Clement.